Japan is the safest country in the world to give birth. In 2015, maternal mortality rate data shows that while the global average was 216 deaths per 100,000 women, Japan reported only 5 deaths per 100,000 women. Yet, surprisingly, from 2015 to 2016, there were at least 102 women in Japan who committed suicide within the first year after giving birth. In a country that is considered the safest place in the world to give birth, what is happening to women in Japan? My name is Reiko Kishimoto. I'm a midwife in Japan. I was certified as an RN in 1994 and a national midwife in 1995, and I worked at the national hospital that accepted high-risk pregnancies and emergency transfers. Because of the demands of seeing so many birthing mothers, the medical staff was divided into separate groups, making spending time with each patient impossible. I spent my days saying, "I'm sorry," and running to the next patient's room, leaving behind women who were so anxious during labor that they grabbed my shirt and said, "Please don't leave me." The machine managed the birthing mothers, and the medical staff focused on reading the data. Sometimes the women were called by their room numbers instead of their names. After the delivery was over, they were forgotten by the medical staff. The medical staff were so exhausted from their work that they did not have time to listen to these women's stories. I moved to Boston in 1998 and gave birth to my first child at Massachusetts General Hospital. As a midwife, I have assisted many natural births and wanted to follow my midwifery ideal in childbirth. So I requested a drug-free natural birth. However, I couldn't stand the pain and asked for an epidural. I was relaxed and impressed by the medical technology at the time, but on the 4 days after giving birth, I developed puerperal fever. Unfortunately, my fever did not go down, and I was in poor health for about 6 months. I thought to myself, if I could have had a natural birth, maybe none of this would have happened. I'm a midwife, and yet I was relying on drugs. I felt like a loser because I couldn't do what everyone else could. I can't even do all the housework or care for my baby. I'm afraid I'm falling further and further away from my ideal self. My pride kept me from asking for help, and I also felt lonely because I didn't speak English. feeling these complex emotions as I held my baby in my arms and looked out of the third floor window where I lived at that time. I felt like I was about to be sucked to the ground and fall, and that I would just fall. The mind and the body are closely related. When the body is not well, the mind is unhappy. And when the mind is low, the body is in trouble. To overcome this situation, I began to study holistic medicine in such a way to improve my condition. And I began to question the medical center's approach to childbirth. I joined a pan-industry social play group in Boston where I could speak my native language and realize the importance of connecting with people. After returning to Japan, I gave birth to my second child. Experiencing childbirth in the United States, I decided to give birth at the midwifery center instead of hospital. I was so shocked that it was like being struck by lightning to experience a completely painless and pleasurable birth. And this experience inspired me to discover the art of natural birth. Here is what I learned from traditional Japanese midwives. Physical conditions such as diet and exercise are essential during pregnancy. Relaxing during labor and delivery is the most beneficial way to promote a safe and gentle birth. Relaxation promotes the release of beta endorphin and oxytocin, provide emotional support to maintain respect for women's dignity, and empower them to be proactive in their birth experience. Here is a baby who was born in our facility last year. It was her first birth, and she gave birth like she was singing a song. Today, it has been 16 years since I opened a midwifery center that helps make childbirth pleasant and comfortable experience without medication. At the Kishimoto Midwifery Center, the hospital transfer rate is 10%, and the C-section rate is about 2%, which is much lower than the 10 to 30% C-section rate in typical clinics and hospitals in Japan. In addition, the number of families with 3 to 4 children is increasing because we are creating space where everyone in the community can raise children together, whether in a midwifery center, hospital, or birth center, and reducing the number of people who raise children in isolation and fear. Midwives from the United States, Switzerland, and France have visited us for on-site training, and they all leave shocked by the natural birth they have witnessed. They all say, how can we inspire these women? What can we offer them that will bring them such joy? I believe it is necessary to make Samba an universal language, not only in Japan, to improve postpartum depression, which is considered a problem in developed countries worldwide. My proposal to revival of Samba does not mean pulling them out of their grave. Right now, midwives in many hospitals in Japan are robots who work on the doctor's orders and act as mini doctors. What are midwives like in your country? I have 3 points in my proposal for the revival of Samba. Number 1, establish a safe and comfortable place based on midwives who have comprehensive outlook and specialized knowledge. The midwife plays the role of the women behind the scenes and is not the one who takes the initiative and gives instructions, but rather the one who empowers. Number 3, using a touch method that circulates the energy needed to connect with the person's heart rather than mechanical stimulation. With Samba, who combines these 3 points, I would like to revive the spirit of Samba in Japan so that they can continue to serve their patients joyfully. In addition, I am committed to creating an environment where people involved in pregnancy, childbirth, the postpartum period, and parenting worldwide can have the Samba spirit to nurture a gentle community. I believe that the revival of Samba spirit will lead to the happiness of mothers and babies worldwide. Through this presentation, I would like to expand this circle and move forward with you all. Thank you for your time and attention.